Good morning, friends, followers and channel members, and I mean good morning. It is early. Very rare that I start a stream at this time, but I had a couple of hours spare this morning, so I thought, why not? Let's check out Prague Airport again as we arrived here last night. Still in pre-release, coming soon from Orbex, so big thanks to them for providing this scenery today for our stream. And we are headed down to one of my favourite Cat C airfields, that is, of course, Tivat. Not an easy place to get in and land, lots to brief as we're on our way down there, and lots, if we're not prepared and stay ahead of the aircraft, can go wrong. So hopefully none of that will take place and we will have a nice flight this morning. So, good morning to everybody already in the chat. David Butler on Facebook, good morning. And Lewis Aviation, good to see you, my friend. What cereal are you eating? And congratulations on the call-up as well for tonight. Mark, good morning. Sean, Martin Pollack, and Hyacinth. Oki TM, hello Oki, good to see you on board again. Original name, you've promised yourself not to play Microsoft Flight Simulator until the A320 came out. But it's so addicting you're installing it again right now. It is indeed addicting. And I'll be honest, I think watching streams of other people flying is even more addicting. I know that if I'm not flying and someone else is, I'll often drop in and watch just as a form of entertainment. And of course, you can always learn from watching other people fly. Sean, good morning. Do you have any stuttering on takeoff or landing when flying an aircraft? Sometimes, Sean. I think it all depends on how complex the scenery around the particular airport is. Original name, this airport model looks great. Yeah, pre-release Prague Airport from Orbex. Not sure when that's coming out, but should not be too long. It is indeed absolutely gorgeous. We landed here last night. We took the drone camera out just for a bit of a look around, but I can have a quick look as well. And as we can see, yeah, highly detailed as we would expect from Orbex. It looks beautiful, and we've got the rotating radar as well on top of the control tower. Rather nice indeed, and also a rather nice day. I think they may have also, I need to check the release notes, but I think they've also added a few things around Prague itself, which is quite nice. So, who else have we got? I don't like missing anyone out because I appreciate everyone that comes and watches the stream. Chris Shaw, Bluminet, good morning. Pizza chips, what does ops mean? So, real ops, what that means is that we are flying the aircraft according to how real pilots would fly the aircraft. We'll be doing everything as realistically as possible within the simulator's limitations. So, a real ops flight means that we do the full setup and we literally go through everything as a pilot would prior to their real departure. So anyone that's new to the channel, there you go. So Sean, yeah, it's not real ops doesn't mean that it's a real world flight, because this is not a real world flight. In fact, at the moment, EasyJet are not flying to Tivat. They normally fly from Gatwick, but they're not doing it at the moment. I think that's just a seasonal thing. They've added a couple of new destinations, I think, to Croatia recently, so we may have to head down there in the future. Yeah, so as Mark says, it follows real procedures. There we go. Diego, I've only got a GTX 1660, so it's doing well. Riney, good morning. Mark, it is early. You're only on your second cup of tea. I've not even had my first one yet. Jamie FH, I've just got a 24-inch monitor. Well, I've got two 24-inch monitors as well. Mark, Cocoa Pops is that's going to be the topic of today's flight. What cereal and why? Okay, let's let's get in, shall we? So before we do, we'll connect the GPU, get the baggage on board, and of course we want some catering just in case anybody wants a drink whilst we're en route. Cold and dark setup this morning then. Just get the flight pad turned on, and with the GPU connected, let's check the battery voltage. Battery 1, battery 2, connect that external power, and let's go full through the flows. So, crew, supply, ground control, CRV test. And it is 1, 2, 3. Nav lights, no smoking on the Emergency lights, those packs should be off for the moment. Refueling off as well until we have got all our fuel loaded. Oh, that's just reminded me, I've not given you guys the operational flight plan. We'll just do the fire test. APU and engine 1, engine 2. Okay, right, let me just start the APU. Whilst I'm doing that, for those of you watching on YouTube, here comes the operational flight plan for the flight. We'll pin that as well. So if anyone wants to download the flight plan, you are now more than welcome. Just turn up the overhead. Okay, so we'll set up the standby. Current QNH is 1026. I don't think any air traffic control is online at the moment. No, it's not, sadly. No air traffic control. But that's no issue. So we've got broken 2,000 feet, 6 degrees, no significant changes, winds 25013, that's going to be runway 24 then for departure. Fuel, looking at our operational flight plan then, our plug fuel today is just under 4.7 tons. However, going to somewhere like Tivat, we always want to make sure we've got a little bit more. So, shouldn't have any issue getting into Tivat. It's quite nice weather. In fact, there's no wind at all at the moment in Tivat, I think. So, we're going to throw an extra ton on board. Let's call it, just because of the kind of airport it is, we're going to go with, we're going to go a bit more. We're going to go 6 tons in total. So, we'll go ahead and get that on. Oh, that was set to instant. Oh, that wasn't very realistic. That was after last night's problems, wasn't it? But there we go. So, okay, fuel is fuel is loaded. Right. So set the standby 1026. Anti-skid. Currently on Unicom, radios are all on. Switching panel is good, and oh, that's interesting. Right. Let's tidy this up, shall we? That's not where everything should be. Parking brakes are all set, and transponder turned on. Squawk 2000 for the standby. Landing gear down, good. Excellent. Okay, let's come up to the FCU. Our initial climb out today is going to be 5,000 feet. Let's turn up the brightness on that. We've pinned the wrong message in the chat. Hyacinth, you're famous, mate. Where's the operational flight plan gone? Let me try again. There we go. Right. We'll pin that again. Hopefully we've pinned the right one in the chat this time. Okay, so 5,000 feet, turn that up, flight directors on, QNH 1026, pop the constraints on as well. Let's come and get the instrument panel brightness turned up. I'm not going to turn off the first officer's displays, but I'm not going to turn them up either. So APU, is that running? No, because I haven't actually started it yet. We just had the master switch. Okay, that'll start in a minute or two, then we can start getting passengers on board. Check the pressure is fine. The view there didn't look right. I can't actually see the whole screen. Has something changed with the default view in this aircraft? That's strange. Since when did that bugger come into the fly-by-wire? The actual screen is offset. How very strange. Okay, well, nothing we can do about that. And system status is all normal. So user ATC, the Prague scenery is not yet available. It should be out normally within a week or so when they start offering new scenery out. So we've got it today. We should be able to get that hopefully within a week. But don't quote me on that. It's absolutely not my decision. So how's the APU doing? Are we up and running? There we go. Let's get the APU bleed on. I just started a timer, so that's been running for a minute. I'm just firing up my tablets, so we've got the McDo connected. So let's go at CU, AOC, init press, and our flight today, 1 hour 20 minutes down to Tivat. And let's check our weights and balance. So the passengers, payload, etc. for today is a payload of 13104, not very heavy, I must say. And 1 second, we've got a zero fuel weight of 24.7. Is that right? Oh, that's the CFG, sorry. Zero fuel weight is 55.6, and that matches up with the operational flight plan as well. Fly 477. Oh, thank you so much for very early super chat there in the stream. So thank you so much for your $2 super chat. And Flight Force asks, can I talk about the CPDLC? Okay, I can talk about it, but I can't actually display it. So the reason for that is, one, I haven't upgraded the aircraft model yet to the version of the experimental which actually has it, and two, there's no air traffic control online at the moment either, so we can't even see that in action. But in terms of talking about it and what it does, we can have a little chat about that, I'm sure, during the flight. Oh, HD, good morning. We can chat to HD as well about CPDLC. What was it you said to me yesterday, HD? I'll let you answer that. Right, so we've got our weights and balance all sorted. I think we're going to have the APU running for much longer than a minute, so there we are. The packs can come on. Let's get the jetway connected and let's get our passengers on board, shall we? Okay, so the doors are open, passengers are boarding. Let's go in and do our box setup. Right, so the operational flight plan you've all got, it's pinned in the chat, so our init A page, let's get the init request. Our alternate today is Dubrovnik, I think. Lima Delta Delta Uniform, yep, LDDU. I do like Dubrovnik as well, lovely airport to land at. Flight number today is, let me just clear that scratch pad out, EasyJet Europe, so Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, not a real flight today, sadly. Cost index of 8, cruise flight level 390, and it's minus 65. Tropopause is 40911. Simulator didn't get that far off this morning. Onto the flight plan page. So, as previously mentioned when discussing the METAR, it's going to be runway 24 on the VOS 3 mic. Have to be careful there, there is a VOS 3 Alpha. Both lead to the same place, just via slightly different routes. Then the arrival into Tivat is at the moment planned to be 3-2. So lock 3-2 Zulu. In fact, let me just grab the chart, make sure we get the right one in here. So it is going to be 3-2. What's the difference between Zulu and Yankee? I think it's going to be the Zulu where... is it Zulu or Yankee we're doing? What's the difference? So that comes in via, I think it is the Zulu, that comes in via Mammal or Alivu, and I think it's Alivu we're coming in via, so it's going to be the Zulu for us. Lock 3-2 Zulu, and the star is the Pod 1 Delta. Alivu. Just going to double check. We could do Alivu or we can do Mammal. Just checking the actual star. So the Pod 1 Delta brings us in to Tivat 301. And then onto Alivu. I will check that in the route as well. So let's insert. That is a distance of 565. I've got 564 in the flight plan, so that sounds promising. Let's just roll through that and check what it looks like, shall we? So I have got a little bit of tidying up there, it seems. Have we got Alivu in there twice? Yes, we do. So let's just tie that up. Let's get rid of... I'll tell you what, let's just go back into that. And if we pop in Novia and insert that, scroll through again. Ah, we're still getting a duplicate waypoint, aren't we? So it should be Gushit. Hang on, move this over to the side so we can see. There's the erroneous one, the second Gushit. Let's clear that one out. Gushit TV301, and that is then correct. That will sort itself out as we are on route. Just need to check this. Oh no, 301 comes first before Gushit. Ah, got it the wrong way round. Let me try again. I'll clear that discontinuity as well in a moment. So, we should fly in Tivat 301, then Gushit after TV 301. So, not quite sure why this isn't syncing up. Sorag. Get rid of Alivu, get rid of Gushit, clear that discontinuity. That, I think, should be it. We should get Sorag, then we should have Alivu, then we should have Gosset, then it should be in. What are we missing there? Sorag, Gosset, 301. Ah, hang on, do you know what? I can add this manually. Bear with me 1 second, guys. So, after Pod, we should have Sorag, that's correct. Then we should have Alivu. Then we should have Lasti. And then let's see if that's any better. Pod, Sorag. Then we should have Alivu. Then we should have TV301. How frustrating. Okay, I am going to build this up manually. It's easier. Sorag Olivu. So that will come just there. Then after Olivu, we should have Tango Victor 301, which is correct. That's right. It may just take a second to join up. There it is. Sorted. Oh, HD says sort it out in the cruise. I was very close. I was very close. Anyway, we've done it now. Radnav page here at Prague. We've got the Prague VOR, which is Oscar Kilo Lima. And that's all we're going to need in the Radnav page. Init B page. And 0 fuel weight. Trip wind today is a tailwind of 52. Fuel planning 3.7. We've got 5.9. And fuel for the alternate is, call it 0.6 tons. 0.6 tons. Sean Churchill, thank you so much, Sean, for a very, very generous £10 super chat. Sean saying always great content. Sorry I missed that, Sean. I got my head in the charts and trying to sort out that arrive route. But thank you for thank you so much for that. Really, really appreciate it. Right, so that fuel for the alternate 0.6. Let's get that in. That gives us an extra 56 minutes of flight time. Right, so with that we'll just get a couple of more details from there. So our takeoff weight is 61.3. Our trim is 24/7, which isn't correct as per the real world. I'm sure for those of you that have seen the recent chat in the VIP room on Discord will understand why, but we're going to use that and we'll get our performance calculator fired up. So we are at Lima Kilo Papa Romeo, runway 24 for departure. Runway is dry and chassis will be off. Takeoff weight.
Hi Gavin, all the passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
Great stuff, thank you very much.
Takeoff is forward, takeoff thrust, flex, config 1, packs will be off. Right, so obviously because we're not very heavy, we've got a huge long runway, I'm going to see if I can save a little bit of time. So, if we just bring those charts back up, we can do an intersection departure here in Prague, which is, I think it's Bravo. I'll have a quick look. Runway 24, yeah, we can take Bravo as well, so that's 2545. So let's change to an intersection. 2545, now let's recalculate. There we go, so we can still get out and we're going to use these figures for our departure. So V1 is now 132, 132, 134, transition altitude 5,000 feet, thrust reduction and acceleration values, again not accurate just yet because this information hasn't been programmed into the sim, into the performance calculator. But we can enter the information that we do have, 2658, 2658. These figures will show up once the calculator is ready for release, and the engine out is actually 2158. Flaps 1 and flex of 70. There we go. Our performance page is all sorted. Alec Broadman, welcome to the Captain's Club. Alec, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. If you are on Discord, then please make sure you get in touch. We'll get you into the VIP room. Welcome, Alec. Thank you for your support. Really, really kind of you. Okay, all is good. Let's get rid of that. And I think we're about ready to do a pre-departure brief. Nothing too much to brief here at Prague. Lovely airport. Love Prague. Let's bring up the charts in a moment. So, weather here in Prague is lovely. Our max takeoff weight is below the maximum landing weight, so no issues getting back in here. Good long runway as well. Runway 24, as we've just seen. It's nearly 4 kilometers long. Aircraft is the experimental version of the A320NX. In-op terrain, in-op weather. TCAS is obviously operating now, and we can perform hold if we need to. No times to be aware of. There's a slight taxiway closure. I'll go over that in a minute, so we'll brief the taxi route that we're going to take here in Prague. Threats to be aware of. Again, not too many in Prague because minimum safe altitude is 3,900 feet as we depart. But let's talk through where we're going to go and how we're going to fly the departure. Peter Scarrett, good morning to you, sir. Oh, thank you, Peter, once again for your kind contribution to the channel with your super chat. Just in time for your break. Yeah, we're doing an early one this morning, Peter. So good to see you this morning. So we are currently at stand 30. We're going to push back. We're going to face west. We're then going to taxi along Hotel 1. Now this taxiway here is taxiway Lima is closed, so what we're going to do is we're going to taxi on Hotel 1 all the way. We'll then take Hotel. From Hotel we're now going to take this intersection departure left onto Bravo, and we're going to depart runway 24 there. The departure is the Vols 3 Mike, so initial turn when we reach 1,700 feet, left hand turn to Prague 411, 412, and finally Voz. And we can just double check that those are in there. 1700, 411, 412, and Voz. So let's have a look at the emergency engine out procedure. So if anything was to go bang after V1, get the aircraft into the air. Normal standard technique, 12.5 degree pitch if we've lost that engine. Following SRS and using rudder to counteract any yaw. Once the aircraft's got a positive rate of climb, we'll get the gear up, trim the yaw out, and engage the autopilot. We'll pull the heading bug, as it's a nice standard engine out procedure here. At 2,800 feet, we'll make that right-hand turn to Erasure holding point. I'm going to get that in the fixes page, so that's just on the navigation display, so we can see it. ERASU, that's where we came in via last night. Inbound track is 041, so reciprocal is 241. 061 is the inbound track, sorry. And the radial is 241. And the hold is left turns. Excellent, so we can see there, that's exactly what we'll be doing to go back to Erasure holding point had anything gone wrong. Lovely. Is the jetway disconnected? Indeed it is. Okay, does it say only for propeller driven? Oh, that's no issue. Let's just turn it to the 3 alpha. I did want, do you know what? I was looking for something like this, and it's because they've put it as a little note with the 1 down there. I was looking when I saw this this route out. I thought that looks like a very quick turn after takeoff, and the fact that there's both going there normally gives you a bit of a clue that one's going to be for propellers, one's going to be for jet aircraft. And I couldn't see it. I was looking for anything around there, but yeah, there it is. It's snuck down there on the bottom left. Well, let's just change the departure to 3 alpha. It's not going to make any difference to our departure brief, so that's fine. So it's still runway 24, and it's now, I keep forgetting you can't see the box. The box 3 alpha. Thank you, Oki.
welcome you on board this EasyJet aircraft. We expect a good flight with you today with no weather problems showing in front of us, so we should be pushing back within the next few minutes or so. For now, the ground crew have now finished loading the last of the baggage into the aircraft, so if you could get yourself seated and secured, then we can make sure we can depart on time. The cabin crew will shortly be providing their safety demonstration video, so it would be appreciated if you could give them your full attention. A special welcome on board to our EasyJet Sim Pilot members, and if you wish to inquire about becoming a member, please contact a member of the cabin crew. All our EasyJet Sim Pilot members are of course entitled to free drinks throughout the flight. Thanks very much, and we'll give you an update once we are airborne.
Right, time to start running some checklists. So before start, checklist. Cockpit prep is complete, signs are on and auto. It is, we've got 3 nav green, fuel quantity confirmed is 5980 kilograms, FMGS is set, altimeter is 1026. Let's get the ground crew.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by.
Just realised, is the GPU still attached? Oh, it's still there, but he's moving out of the way. That's good. I'd not got rid of him, so I was just wondering if he was going to move out of his way on his own accord.
Cabin crew, please arm doors and cross-check.
Peter Scarab, let's hope for no trees on the runway this time. And HD with the Friday night quiz question.
Installed. All doors and hatches
How much extra
closed
fuel
and
per
all
mile
doors
is required if the
closed.
SID changes?
Standing by for pushback.
Interesting question that. Let's have a chat about that in the cruise. Right, are we on Unicom 122.8? Is there any ATC? No, so we'll go ahead and give Unicom that call. Prague traffic, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, stand 30, pushing back, facing west on Hotel 1. Beacon light, start the pushback, timer, the acupressure is in the green, transponder. Before start checklist below the line, windows and doors closed and armed, beacon light is on, phone is on silent, parking brake is on.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are cleared for start and push. Parking brake set.
Okay. Cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
And Ari Wilk says, can't wait for you to start flying. Well, that's the point of the real ops flights, and for
Please release parking brake.
those that have watched the channel regularly, you'll know we with the real ops flights we do everything as realistically as possible as we can in the sim. Right, we're ready to go. Let's just have a
Release parking brake.
quick look behind us, make sure we're not going to run anybody over. No, all looks good there. We are on Unicom, aren't we? Yeah, 122.8. Okay, parking brake.
Please release parking
Released.
Parking brakes are released.
brake. Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Okay, back it goes. Engine mode selected to start and starting engine 1. Paranoid check the APU bleed is indeed on. Fantastic scenery this, isn't it? Prague Airport. Still in pre-release from Orbex, coming out very, very soon. So big thanks to them again for letting us preview this on our flight today. Fitzy, good evening to you. Didn't we chat to you this morning? As it was.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle,
Airport, Scandinavian
and 2 at the
264,
front
pushing
of the
back and
cabin.
start up at stand
Floor lighting will
20.
guide you to an exit. please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start
Starting
the
engine
oxygen.
2.
Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist.
Startup is complete. You may disconnect.
Click together
Roger.
and
Good
pull
engine
the
start.
strap to
Clear to
adjust.
disconnect. See
Do
you at the
not
side.
inflate it
Have a good
inside
flight.
the aircraft.
Holding position
When
waiting for
outside,
visual. Thank
inflate
you
by
and
pulling the
goodbye.
toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with EasyJet.
Okay, so we're waiting for engine number 2 to spool up. Then we'll do the after start flows, after start checklist. Looks like we're following our nemesis Ryanair out. It's okay, I'll cut him off at the intersection. There we go, engine 2 is running. Let's set the engine mode selector to normal. APU bleed is off, APU masters are off, and spoilers, rudder, flaps, trim, and the after start checklist. Anti-ice is off, ECAM status is checked, pitch trim is 25% set, and rudder is 0. We shall do a flight control check as well now whilst we're sat here. So, full left, full right, and neutral, full up, full down, and neutral. Rudder, full right, rudder, full left, and neutral. And Prague traffic, Alpine 3 for Alpha Mike on Hotel 1, taxiing to holding point Bravo for runway 24 via Hotel 1, Hotel and Bravo, following the Ryanair. Oh, I hate uttering that phrase. So whilst I'm just waiting because there's a Ryanair in the way, we'll just get the aircraft set up. Ding the cabin in a little bit, release the parking brakes, just roll slightly. Dr. Magic says hello back again after the walk to work. He got as far as the cafe. Tim Carey watching this live for a change. Oh, fantastic. Oh, someone just turned the clouds off. That's interesting. Peter Scarab, have I ever used the FS2 Crew? I have used it. The only reason I don't use it is just because some of the things it does and says are just slightly different calls to the SOPs that I'm used to. So I didn't want to learn new SOPs.
And Prague traffic, Ryanair 225, taxiing to holding point Alpha and D2 for the Hotel 1, Hotel Bravo 1, Zulu.
Okay, so we're going to be following the Ryanair. Let's use the time wisely. I'll get the taxi lights on in a moment once we start moving. So no change to the performance QNH. Oh, actually, QNH has changed. It's now 1027. That won't affect our performance. So new QNH 1027. Engine out procedure, standard right-hand turn at 2,800 feet to the Eurasia holding point. Departure is the Vox 3 Alpha, and it's going to be 5,000 feet our initial climb, which is set. before takeoff. Checklist to the line. Flight controls are checked. Departure briefing is confirmed. Flap setting is config 1. FMA takeoff data is 132 blue, 134 magenta. Climb nav blue, 1FD2, 5000 blue. Flex is 70. I'll ding the cabin. Transponder is set. Ecam memo. Takeoff. No blue. EFB is stowed. So, just bring up my taxi chart here so we know where we're going. The additional scenery makes taxiing so much easier.
624 stand 24, push and start.
So now rolling over onto Hotel 1. Frederic Olivier on Facebook. Good morning to you. Chains of Rocks not switched to the new Airbus procedures. Do you mean the new checklists and flows? No.
Bravo will follow the Ryanair and the company traffic passing left to right via Hotel Bravo.
Oh, I need my cup of tea this morning. Something's stuck in my throat.
Actually, would you like to go ahead of us?
Oh, Ryanair, don't stop.
We'll take ahead of the Ryanair. Alpine 85 Tango Tango.
Oh, sorry passengers, we're having to wait because the Ryanair stopped. HD, I've seen a lot about this, these new Airbus, just new flows. They've done away with the checklists which have below the line and above the line, things like that. So maybe it'll get filtered down at some point.
And Rock traffic Ryanair 225 will be continuing taxi from Bravo on to holding point offer on the 24 behind the taxi Easy A320 Neo on Bravo.
Lewis, the Ryanair's probably not on the line because there's only me here, I think, at the moment that actually has this scenery. So they're most likely on default. So we get to the end here, make a left on Bravo. Look at this though. How amazing does that look? Another great airport from Orbex on its way.
Cabin crew, if you could take your seats for takeoff.
So we're taking a left down here.
Prague traffic, Alpine 85 Tango Tango, lining up, taking off from runway 24 in section Bravo, was for Alpha departure.
And Prague traffic, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike will be lining up runway 24 via intersection Bravo behind the departing company traffic. Lining up waiting runway 24 behind the departing EasyJet A320. So we're nicely ahead of the game here. All checklists are done. We'll wait for him to depart, then we'll get on the runway. Give it 2 minutes for separation. And then off we go. There he goes. So, release that parking brake. Let's get our lights on. Turn off pack 1 and 2. TCAS. TARA. Before takeoff checklist below the line. Cabin is secured for takeoff. Engine mode select as normal. TCAS TARA packs are off. Anti-ice is off. Jupe on Facebook. Yes, this is an early flight.
Traffic, Scandinavian 264, taxiing to holding point Alpha at runway 24 via taxiway Subu Tango.
So we want as much of this tarmac as we can. Okay, so we're just going to make 1 minute 30 seconds.
Holding short of runway 24 at Alpha.
And Prague traffic, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike is lined up runway 24 at the Bravo intersection, just waiting 1 minute for traffic separation, then departing on the VOS 3 Alpha departure. Fitzy says he may be an ignorant Aussie, but he'd never heard of Tivat before. You're going to love the approach, guys. Stick with us for the approach. It's something something special. Peter, 4 minutes separation. That sounds a bit excessive for a couple of A320s.
And Prague traffic, Ryanair 225 will be lining up behind the departing Easy A320.
Mark, you're an ignorant Brit. You had to look it up as well. So, 40 seconds to go. Not 40 seconds ago. 1 minute 40 seconds gone. 20 seconds ago.
Prague traffic, Ryanair 225 will be lining
There
up
we go.
holding point Alpha onto runway 24 and will hold position until separation with the departing A320.
Prague traffic, Alpine 34 off Mike. Runway 24 rolling from intersection Bravo. Okay, release parking brake and take off. Start the chrono. Set 50% M1. And engine stable. Set takeoff first. Man flex. SRS. Interesting, we've got no runway shown just there.
Prague traffic Emirates 140, pushing back stand 14.
That was great to see AIG showing us that Emirates traffic a moment ago as well. Love AIG. Performance calculator doing its job. V1, rotate. Nav.
Positive red climb, gear up.
Prague traffic, Ryanair 225 lined up and waiting on runway 24 will depart after a 7 nautical mile separation with the A320.
So 500 feet to go, then we'll do the thrust reduction. There it is. So thrust climb, climb. I'm going to pop autopilot 1, pack 1 on. I'm going to pop the anti-ice on as well now, just to start to come through this little cloud layer. Pack 2. just coming up on S speed. Have a quick cheeky look out to the left hand side. We should see Prague actually as we turn around in a moment. There's S speed, so flap 0, spoilers disarmed. No ATC available. Let's continue our climb up to flight level 200. Set standard pressure. Open climb 200 blue. Did I put the other pack on? I did. Ding the cabin crew. Nicely above MSA now, so popping the standby ISIS to standard pressure. Oh, what's going on with the flight plan just here? Let's just clear that duplicate waypoint out. Not that I think that's the issue. I'm almost showing a heading line, aren't I, there?
264 lining up runway 24 behind traffic.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on
Ladies
that.
and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt
Seems to be
fastened
flying the
whenever you are
correct
seated.
route at the moment.
Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
Almost like when it went to make that left-hand turn, it entered heading mode for a second in the background, and then left the track line on there. Clear the rad nav page out as well. And a quick check of the progress page. Cruise level 390, optimum 390. Okay, let's clear ourselves up into flight level 390. I might do a direct in a minute, that might get rid of that line. 390 blue, and let's release the passengers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has now turned off the seatbelt sign and you are now free to move around the cabin. We do recommend, however, when in your seat, that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. The toilets are now available. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Oh, there we go. It's cleared itself up as it goes to Prague 404. Okay, no matter. Not seen that before, but there we are. I'm not sure cost index is working just yet, HD. No. A little bit cloudy
Traffic,
over Prague today.
Airborne.
South traffic, Liner 225, climbing out of flight test.
Lewis, you're just having a bath. Be back in a bit. Take us in the bath with you. Okay, so our flight time is 1 hour 20 minutes in total. We've been airborne for just a little over 6 minutes, which should give us just about enough time to brief the arrival. It's a great arrival. If you've never seen an arrival into Tivat before, do stick with us.
Juliet Golf and Alpha.
I'm also keeping an eye on my task manager as well today. I'm concerned that some of the crash to desktops I get has maybe something more hardware and less software, but we'll see. Alvin Marie Joseph, if you're downloading Microsoft Flight Sim, you've been waiting for 6 hours. Oh, 6 hours is nothing. You've got another, you've probably got another 12 to wait, depending on your internet connection. Res Rules, what's the plan for the channel once PMDG drop? Will I diversify? Well, I don't know. Phoenix is on the horizon. I would rather fly one aircraft perfect and well. Perfect's the wrong word. I would rather fly one aircraft correctly than lots of different aircraft incorrectly. And what is the hype with Boeing anyway? Their flight decks just look like an OCD nightmare. Alwyn, you're getting about 50 megaseconds. Yeah, that sounds very similar to me. Still took about 12 hours. A lot of it is not so much about how much you're downloading, but the way that it installs is it downloads, it then unzips and installs stuff, then downloads the next thing.
Traffic, level 5 test, landing, level 390.
Dr. Magic, do you think Phoenix will mean moving away from fly-by-wire? Well, not entirely, no. I mean, Phoenix is going to be absolutely amazing. But of course it is payware. Not everybody perhaps wants to fork out however much it's going to cost. We don't know yet. And the fly-by-wire team are just doing an amazing thing with this aircraft. They're also two different aircraft. One's a Neo, one's the older engines. So, two different kind of aircraft, two different systems. Off the top of my head, for example, TCAS. The autopilot on the Neo can fly the TCAS TARA alerts automatically. The Phoenix shouldn't be able to. So there are some different things. Brada, I can see you on VATSIM. No escaping. Good. That means we're there. Mark, you think everything is much cleaner and more logical in the Airbus? I have to agree. Have to agree with that. I'm involved with my local flight school centre, who have the full fixed bake sim of a 737. I think it's the 800. And every time I sit in there, I think, ugh, why can't my flow just go front to back, front to back, front to back on the overhead without having to jump around all over the place? And as for the CRJ, who the hell designed that thing? HD, I'll have to learn the proper TCAS manoeuvre now. Yeah, I know, I can't just sit back and watch the aircraft take care of it. OKTM, you're still sceptical about the Phoenix. What about it, Okie? Nick! Good morning, Nick. Resox94 on Twitch. Good morning to you. Okie, you haven't heard anything new about it for a while. Seriously? Okie, it's just entered beta. It's been beta tested at the moment. Sadly, no ATC online for us this morning. Never mind. Cloud cover, cloud cover, cloud cover. That can go by the time we get to Tivat, please. So the next aircraft on the same route of us is 30 miles in trail. That's fine. Res rules weren't EasyJet a Boeing house at some point. They certainly had a couple of Boeings in the very, very, very early days. But they've been Airbus for as long as I can remember. Peter, well, that was my break. You're heading back to making the skies above DKs. Peter, I've just realised you're at work. So you're currently ATCing, and on your break you decide to watch more aircraft. That's dedication and love to the job, Peter. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and stopping in. Great to see you. Albert Maria, my graphics settings are available in a video released not that long ago. And I know that because I had to refer to them a couple of days back when Microsoft's servers were down, and they were reset. So do a search for the channel, and you will find those. The Aviator, you're the Ryanair behind us. As long as you remain behind us, all is good. UK Sim Pilot, EasyJet were 737s originally. Well, when you say originally, is that when they bought their first? They just started with one, didn't they? Maybe two. And then obviously decided to go down the Airbus route when expanding. Chris Hogg, you love the A330. I like the A330. I really like the A330. It's very nice. Christian Toggle, hello, joining in a bit late. Looking forward to the Tivat approach. By the way, last week you got your hands on the CCA side stick and throttles. Makes things much more real. Indeed it does, Christian. Yeah, Tivat approach is great. I'm looking forward to that too. It's probably my favourite Cat C airfield. Mark, you had a chat with a couple of Easy pilots after they dropped us off at Newcastle. What, in an aircraft, or were they just driving a taxi? Just the way you say it, after they dropped us off at Newcastle. And one had converted from a Boeing to Airbus, and he said he much preferred it. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find any pilot that doesn't. Mark, more room, and they've got a table, of course. That table is a lifesaver. It actually is a lifesaver. Google the, I forget who it was, coming into, I think it was Kathmandu years ago, might have been an Airbus 300, who still had a flight yoke. He got nowhere to put his charts. He put his charts down on the pedestal. He missed one of the altitudes off, the first one down on a step-down approach. So he was a step ahead every time, went straight into terrain, because he had nowhere safe to put his charts. UK Sim Pilot, great to hear that on Twitch that you're much more of an Airbus fan. But they did get rid of them a long time ago. $33,000 feet, 6,000 feet to go, and oh, that looks nice. How often do I say that? I know I'm in danger of repeating myself almost every live stream we do. But how can you not be blown away by views such as that? If you're watching on a tablet or on a phone, I reckon if you hand this to someone, you can say, look, you could convince them that this is a live stream from 34,000 feet. Res Rules is currently Wikipediaing. EasyJet initially operated a pair of wet lease 737-200 aircraft capable of seating 130 passengers. They were flown on two routes, Luton to Glasgow and Edinburgh. Of course, Luton their base. F1 racer down the cockpit is much more comfortable than a Boeing's as well. J-Hog, good morning. When it's evening in India. Well, yes, and Australia as well, for those watching in Australia. Must be getting late for those in Australia. Zoro DK Gaming says, personally I don't prefer either Airbus or Boeing. I love them both because they are so different. I love the design of the Airbus, but the Boeing you really have to fly yourself. Again, true. I guess you could say the Boeing is a little bit more hands-on. Does that mean it's safer? There's a whole other can of worms. Laurent, the scenery of Prague that we were using is a pre-release scenery from Orbex. Should be out soon. Louis Aviation, you've missed nothing. All has been good. Casual Flight Simmer on Twitch. This is the experimental version. Experimental version. Not too much turbulence expected on this flight. How are we doing with the climb? Shouldn't be too far away. I've got a nice hot cup of tea in front of me. It's just normal tea though. There's no biscuit tea, or I ran out of biscuit tea, and oh, I think I do have jam and toast tea, but I pulled out the wrong box this morning. Casual Flight Simmer, I love the experimental version of the fly-by-wire. F-Dan says, you will say the Dash 8 has a really nice, neat seat up in the cockpit, but you have a soft spot as it was your first job. The Dash 8. Well, the closest I've ever come to one of those is in FSX. God, that was a pain to land. And the autopilot. Alt-cell, alt-cell, alt-cell. That's all I remember from the Dash 8. Andrew, hello. Am I using self-loading cargo for the cabin announcements, or is it any? No, that is correct. It is self-loading cargo, and you can't wait for Prague to be released. It shouldn't be long. It really shouldn't. Really looking forward to it. And Danny, yeah, everyone's been flying the 320 since it was released. We're looking forward to something different. 737 will probably be a game changer, as they say. Lauren, is there PDC or the CPDLC? There is in the experimental version, however I've not got that version installed at the moment, and there's no ATC online, so we wouldn't be able to use it. F1 Racer Dan, it was a dog to land. Yeah, watching them in crosswinds, that was just hilarious. 500 feet to go. I often used to go to Manchester and see the Flybe Dash 8 just getting blown around like a seagull in the wind. It is good to see them coming back as well. Fingers crossed for them. They were my son's favourite aircraft. The purple Dash 8s when he was younger. He's now more of a Beluga and Antonov man. Macolt Star. I'm just so sad that because my son also loves Concorde, I'm so sad he'll never get to see that fly. Macolt Cruise. It's rather dark down here, isn't it? Should we turn those up? HD and the main gear had a habit of collapsing. I'm not surprised, even when you look at it, this aircraft on those spindly little legs, that's how it appears from the outside. Oh, there we go. Top of cruise.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's flight deck once again. Just to let you know, we've reached our cruising altitude for today, and we are not anticipating any major delays or bad weather ahead, so we should be arriving on time as planned. The cabin crew will now start to make their way around the aircraft, so please make sure that the aisles are clear of any items you may have, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. A reminder that our EasyJet Sim pilot members are able to take advantage of free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and we shall have an update for you shortly.
Everything looking normal. Mark, at least you can see the one at Manchester. Yeah, he's been a couple of times. We took him for his birthday a year or so ago. That must have been longer than that. Pre-COVID. UK Simpelite, do I know if the EasyJet cabin calls are still available anywhere? Every link you have seems to have been removed. I have no idea. The sound pack I'm using is one that I developed myself here for the channel. And a reminder, of course, if you're one of the channel members, that that is available to you in the I think it's the middle and higher tiers members. So we shall do a fuel check when we get to Sassel. And whilst we're flying, let's just have a quick check at some en route weathers. Where should we go for? Well, we probably want Dubrovnik just because that's our alternate. I mean, technically the weather this morning in Tivat is really nice. But en route, let me check where we can have a quick look at. So as we've left Prague, we'll have a look at Vienna. And we'll also have a look at Zagreb, which is Lima Delta Zulu Alpha. Send those off, see what comes back. HD, you always give people a massive wave at Manchester. What, from the right-hand seat, waving at the people at the pub? Or do you mean after you've landed? After you've actually touched down and you're taxiing in back past the viewing park? I love the viewing area at Manchester. They've set that up really well. Jay, you forgot to switch the packs on after takeoff. You've got an alarm by flight level 220. Yeah, that'll do it. I would imagine the alarm you're getting is the cabin pressure alarm rather than the pack alarm. Company message. Richard Crabtree, good morning to you, sir. Thank you for coming on board with us this morning. Right, what have we got to contend with today? So, Vienna, Cav OK, winds are good, so Vienna's open. Tivat, the one we're really interested in. Winds variable, Cav OK. Couldn't be better. Our alternate is again Cav OK, nice winds. And Zagreb, Cav OK, good winds. Everything is looking good all around. HD, if we turn a pack off now, does it pop up? No. Mark, you always try and catch the airliner live streams from there. I bet if they are there when you land, they'd send you the film. HD, from the pub is great, but you meant after landing. Well, I'm glad you've said that. I'd have been slightly concerned if I'm stood there and you're 40 feet from touching down and I see the FO just giving us a big gleaming smile and a wave. Surely he's got other things to contemplate and concentrate on. HD, you've seen yourself in a couple of YouTube videos. Seriously. That's excellent. Okay, nicely in the cruise. We've got loads of time and I want to drink my tea and chat, but I also want to be prepared for this arrival. So, in order to set this up right and make sure that we're good, let me see how this is working. So, with something strange either with the aircraft or myself, probably myself, going on right at the start. Let's see, we're coming in by the Pod 1 Delta arrival is the one we're planning. Just double checking that actually. Yeah, it is the Pod 1 Delta, runway 32. And this brings us via Sorag, Alivu, and then Gossett, and then TV 301. So there's Gossett, there's Alivu, and we've got Lock 32 Yankee as well. So what is the difference between the two? Left turn, proceed 157 from RO, 6,000 feet. Lastly, that was Yankee. Left. So they do have different missed approach procedures. Is one before the hill and one after the hill? Oh no, they're both after the hill. So they're both very similar. If we try the Log Yankee, does that just bring us in at 301? Let's try that, shall we? Paul Adam, good morning to you, sir. Oh, thank you for rehosting, and hope you're well. Right, let's check this arrival. I'm going to go the Lock 32 Yankee. It's still going to be the Pod 1 Delta. And no Vias. Insert that, see what we get. So we should have Pod, then Sorag, then Alivu, then Gossut, yep, then Tango Victor 301, then the Taz. Clear the discontinuity just there. That's the last place we want to be messing around with stuff like that. And then the final arrival. Okay, that's it. Good stuff. Let's now get rid of this chart and work out how we're going to do the arrival. So our transition altitude as we're coming in is going to be 10,000 feet. Our platform altitude is 2,600 feet, and that's at the TAS NDB. Minimum safe altitude as we're coming in is 6,300 feet. And if we just check on the chart here, the general area above that is 8,400 feet. Our decision altitude yeah, look at the very high runway visibility range that's needed for this. 5,000 meters, 5 kilometers. Anyway, that's no issue. We shouldn't have any problems with climb performance gradient unless we've lost an engine. I don't have FlySmart to be able to calculate that, but I'm sure that 5% is well within in range, so it's going to be 1170. ILS frequency is 1113, airfield elevation is just 20, and our missed approach altitude is 6,000 feet. Obi-Wan, we've got Orbex scenery for both Prague and Tivat. They are both going to be add-ons today. So we need to be configured via TAS NDB. That's gear down, flaps 3, and at VAP by the TAS NDB, 4.3 miles away. Once we're happy and we're committed to land, we'll go flaps full. In order to get there, however, we've got the nice speed constraints coming down, and if we are 5,000 feet at Alivu, we want 5,000 feet at Alivu. After that we can get down 4,000, 2,600. So let's just stick a range ring around Alivu. We'll also build up our missed approach flight plan as well. So we're nicely today at our maximum cruising altitude of flight level 390. And we've got a tailwind as well today, if I recall. Yeah, we do have a tailwind. So we are going to begin that. We have got extra track miles to fly as well, which is going to be handy. Let's call that 105 miles out. I'll keep an eye on the profile as we're going down, but ballpark figure 105 miles out. We want to start getting down. Actually, no, I'm just going to extend that a bit because we do need to slow down, and we've got the wind to take into consideration. So 110 miles there. Obi-Wan, the Prague airport is Orbex, but it's not yet released. It's currently in pre-release, so we're thankful to them for providing that for us today to check out. That will be released probably in the next week or two. And I think it's Pyrigis that's done Tivat. Don't quote me on that. So that's our top of descent. So how am I going to fly this? By Alivu, I want to be 5,000 feet. I want to be green dot as we get to Alivu. On leaving Alivu, I want to get down to 4,000 feet, flaps 1, then flaps 2 at leaving Gusset, flaps 3 by Tango Victor 301, and then we're nicely configured down to 2,600 feet at Tivat. Oops, there we go, at Tivat. And then from there we can leave it in nav FPA, and if it in remember we'll be VMC, be able to see the runway, and it's a 3.2 degree glide path angle. Let me also check now, what is the runway width? Are we going to get any strange sensors as we have a look? How long is it? Oh no, it's 45 meters, so it's standard. Let's talk about the missed approach. So, two different things, missed approach or a balked landing. The missed approach point is 3 miles from Tiv, which is the lock DME. If we decide at that point that we're going to a missed approach, we make a left-hand turn heading 199, then proceed onto the 1570 radial from Romeo Oscar, located at climbing to 6,000 feet. We then come, and that takes us back into the Lasti holding point. Then at the 008 bearing from the TAS NDB, we come back into the Lasti holding point. So just to build up a picture here, we'll use our fixes page once more. And there's actually a waypoint there that I'm going to use as a fix on the navigation display to fly via until we've actually got the real track in place. So let's put in diesel. And then I'm going to put 157 on there, the 157 radial. That then will be the track that we fly, and we're then going to come back to Lasti. So now let's have a look how this is being displayed on our navigation display. Pop that into plan. Scroll down. There it is. Sky's limit. Hello, my friend. Are you in Doha or London? Let me just scroll a couple more. There it is. Right, so just a couple of things on there to help us with our missed approach. Here we can see the arrival coming in. We've briefed how we're going to get down to 5,000 feet, be green dot, down to 4,000 feet at flaps 1, flaps 2 then as we head down to 2,600 feet, get configured to flaps 3, gear down by the TAS NDB. Then we're on our own visual with the runway by that point. And we'll fly around the corner, offset localizer, terrain both sides. And if anything was to go wrong, our missed approach takes us left out, round the rock, back to Desol. We'll fly this track and then come and enter the holding point at Lasty. That's all done. Let's just talk about the main threats, which I'm sure you've picked up on by now. The main threats are the fact that we are surrounded by terrain. We are in a little valley as we go down the localizer. It is also an offset localizer, so we can't use that much further on than 3 miles from the lock DME, TIV. So terrain. Got to be very cautious of the terrain. Let me just have a look at the operational flight plan as well. See the minimum safe altitude. Whoa, is that the wind's being injected again? Yeah, we've just lost 500 feet sporadically. So we need to be careful as we are coming down. I'll just bring this into play as well. As we are coming down, I said I wanted to be 5,000 feet by a lever, which is fine, but just looking at Sorag and Pod. Sorag, we need to be careful there. Minimum safe altitude there is 5,700 feet, and that Pod is just over 10,000 feet. So at Pod, really, we don't want to be much lower than 10,000 feet. We've then got 15 miles to lose 5,000 feet, so I think making sure that we are absolutely speed 250 knots before Pod. 10,000 feet is essential by this point. Otherwise, the approach is going to be tight. We don't want to find ourselves fast and high on this one. But I think we're all now nicely briefed. And we can relax for the next however many miles. And I can drink my cup of tea. 120 miles or so to go. HD, what FCU modes will I use? Sounds like a daft question. Well, let's think. So I expect my speed before Pod to be pulled back to 250 knots because I want that to be in selected speed. I want to control that until we're close to getting onto the final approach. We're going to be in nav until... Hang on, bring the chart back up. I want to be in nav until we're on the localizer, and then just before we disconnect the autopilot, I want to use track FPA. So we get the flight directors off. FPA will help me with the 3.2 degrees flight path angle, descent angle. And the track we can set to the final track of the arrival course, which is it 3? It's not 334, is it? Is that going to be 314? It's offset by 20 degrees. Where would that be found? Oh yeah, there we go, it is. 314. 314. HC says, why not use lock FPA? I would be using lock FPA, wouldn't I? Until I took the autopilot off, then it would revert to track FPA. Is that right? HC says, see, it wasn't a silly question. Not a cloud in the sky. That is what we want.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Good evening, Steve. HD, yes, that's right. You missed that bit out, though. I was thinking you might have said press the approach button. No, definitely not. Even if final approach mode was working, this isn't an RNP approach, so that wouldn't work. No, the approach mode button shall not be touched. Just going to enjoy the sights and sounds now for the next however long. Sights, sounds, and chat with your good selves. We should be on the ground in around about 30 minutes, all being well. Theo Mark, hello my friend, it's been a while, hope you're well. Saying, just having my lunch break, happy to relax as a passenger on the flight. This is the time to relax. We've probably got about 10 minutes just to relax before we start going down the approach. Lou, do I use Google Maps? No. HD, there's also a warning in the crew brief about lock capture anomalies. It advises to capture lock in heading and not in nav. That's interesting. I wonder why the two would be different. Why heading or nav would make a difference to how the localizer is captured. Ooh, First Officer George is telling me the postman's here. That's good timing though. I'm glad we've just done the brief. I'll be back in 30 seconds. And we're back. Lewis Ryan, it's Lewis from YouTube. What are you doing on Facebook, Lewis? Dear Mark, you've been busy at work, etc. That's good. That's good. Life slowly returning to normal for most of us, I hope. Actually, don't forget to set the inbound runway course after you've disconnected the autopilot. That's why I was trying to search for the runway track, which I'm going to make a note of in front of me, so I'm not scrabbling around for it at the last minute. What was it? Was it 314? 314? Yes, 314. And then the taxi is nice and straightforward, isn't it? Either off of Bravo or Alpha, depending on how we've done. And then into one of the self-manoeuvring parking stands. HD, no, the bulk landing tracks are not, as far as I'm aware. In fact, that's all you get. Let me just have a look. No. 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 Maybe Navigraph would have to pay more money to Jepson for that sort of stuff. Shame we've had no ATC this morning, but never mind. I checked the ref charts HD. Oh, I know you'll probably have seen me do it now, just because you're 30 seconds behind the stream. But yeah, there are no ref charts for Tivat, sadly. Terrain's starting to get high. Gav, good evening, sir. How are you? I think we spoke to you this morning as well, didn't we, Gav? We were there when you went to bed. We're here when you finished. Sorry, no, I've got it the wrong way around. We were there when you were waking up this morning. Here now this evening before bedtime. Really targeting our Australian and New Zealand audience this last 24 hours. I'm now starting to become a fan of doing our arrival briefs sooner rather than later. And by sooner, I mean within about 10 minutes of getting to the top of climb. A lot of EasyJet flights aren't always that long. Not the ones that I do here on stream anyway, because who wants to sit and watch me in a cruise for 4 hours? But yeah, it means that just now everything's in place. We can just have 5-10 minutes before I have to really start thinking again. Ah, there's the bulk landing procedure. Thank you, HD. So, overfly the runway, 2.5 miles left turn, heading 270, 3,500 feet, left turn back to Taz. Thank you. If anything goes wrong, HD, please have that copied and pasted, ready to ready to put into the chat. Ryan, before Flight Sim 2020, what sim were you using and how does it compare? So I've always been Microsoft Flight Simulator. I had a look at X-Plane a while ago and I just found the user face clunky and stuff. That was a while ago, though. I'm sure things have changed since then. But yeah, so Microsoft Flight Sim, 95, 98, 2000, 2002, 2004, I think, was that the last one? Might have been. HT says we could probably have Tivat hard tuned to the VOR field. We can certainly do that. We're going to get the latest weather as well in a second. So the 111.3, that's the lock DME, isn't it? We'll also get the NDB in there, the TAS, which is 345. I've just realised you can't see me doing this, but it is there. And I'm just going to send off another weather report. Does mean that I can tap away now on the McDo whilst you guys are just enjoying this beautiful view. Ryan, I've never used P3D. No. Pascal, it's cool to join your flights while enjoying my COVID. Enjoying your COVID, Pascal. Oh, God bless you. Hope you're not too ill with it. Having said that, so many people I know have been, to quote Pascal, enjoying their COVID. They are absolutely fine, testing positive, but they're absolutely fine. So they've got 5 days sat at home catching up on Netflix. Right, latest meta then. Wind is still nice and variable, so we'll pop that in at 314 at 3. Cav OK, temperature is 13 degrees, QNH is 1029. So I'm entering that now as we speak into the performance page. Transition altitude here was 10,000 feet, wasn't it? Yes, 10,000 feet, and the decision altitude is 1170. That's it, approach page is all sorted. Oh, it would be really nice if I had time after this flight to head off somewhere else. Real world calls though, sadly. How are we doing? Right, top of descent, we don't want to miss this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, you will be delighted to hear that we will shortly be starting our descent into our destination, at which point the cabin crew will start preparing for our arrival. If you could please make sure that all the aisles are clear, the cabin crew...
Thrust idle, open descent, file 100 blue.
The aisles, that would be most appreciated. A reminder for our EasyJet Environment members that free drinks are still available from the cabin crew until the seatbelt signs are turned on. Please note, however, that the toilets will shortly go out of use. Thank you.
Some enemy news about when the performance app will be available for purchase. So, the SimSmart A320neo performance calculator, as we've named it, is going to be available hopefully within the next 3 to 4 weeks. It's going to come out initially as a PC program, so it'll be available on PC, just a small little file that runs on the PC. And then once we're all happy, we're also going to create the Android app version as well, so you can run that on a tablet if you wish. So, just control that rate of descent there. 2,500 feet per minute. Ground speed is pretty much bang on 500. Ben, do I use VSV on initial descent? Once we get up to about 270 knots on conversion, then I'll pull 270 knots, and that'll just descend it as a nice rate. And then we'll just monitor that as we go along. So on the performance page of the McDo, I've got Papa Oscar Delta down here, and I'm just monitoring how far we are away, because I want to be 10,000 feet at pod. Thomas Miguel, to see other liveries in VATSIM, you need two things. You actually need the liveries installed in your community folder, and then you also need to have vPilot set up with a working VMR file. Now, the liveries, of course, you can download from AIG, or I think that server's still down at the moment, isn't it? But yeah, my recommendation is just wait another 2 or 3 weeks till AIG is back up and running, download those, and then create a VMR file. If you don't want to create a VMR file, well, that sounds a bit complicated, you can download one on our Discord server. Howling Crazy, AIG's not back yet. No, I didn't think it was. HD, have I got hard-tuned TIV in the RadNav page? Yeah, so we've got it both on VOR and we've got it obviously on the ILS. So we can pop that on if we wish. Thomas Miguel, you're very welcome. So I'm actually just a little bit high, and that's the winds not working in my favour. HD, probably about 30 seconds after I say this, you'll have seen me turn VOR1 on 10 seconds ago. Does that make sense? Damn stream delay. Just going to check the fuel as well. At Oslud, what should we have? We've got 1.5 tons of extra fuel on board, so that should be about 3.2 tons. I've got 3.5. That's great. So if we did have to go around, we're good for some for another approach. Alan Crazy, how do I determine which flights to fly in as per the real world? I honestly couldn't say. A lot of it is time dependent, how much time I've got. For those of you that have children, you shall know. Time is a commodity, more valuable than most things. So about 51 miles to go to the pod. Just here. Remember what I'm wanting. I'm in for 10,000 feet at this point. 250 knots. If I can get to 10,000 feet actually just before pod, and then roll it back to 250 knots by pod, that would be my my preferred method. CNR for Dubrovnik HD is 1.5 tons. Gav! Oh, good evening, Gav, again. Thank you so much for your kind $4 super chat. Thank you so much for continuing to support us, Gav. Really do appreciate that. And I'm glad that we were here this morning when you woke up, and this evening before you go to bed. It worked out quite nicely for you. I'm afraid I shall not be around tomorrow morning for you. Pay the performance calculator will not be freeware, but it will cost less than £5. We don't want it to be expensive. So 11,000 miles to go, currently 40 miles from pod. So HD would add a bit to that just to get there, so 500 kilograms is a bit low, I'd say. Do you mean 1.5 kilograms? 1.5 kilograms, sorry. 1.5 tons. So 2 ton would be okay. And we've got 3.5 at the moment. Howling Crazy, the development of the perf calculator is coming along really nicely. There's just a couple more things we want to add to it to make it really stand out. In particular, a lot more of the engine out procedures. HD, it's only around the corner, yes, but we'd burn a lot in the go-around. We would, particularly this go-around. Okay, let's start securing the cabin. So the approach checklist. Seatbelt signs are on. We've briefed our arrival. Minimums are 1170 set. Engine mode selector is normal. EFB is stowed.
If you could please return to your seats and ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you are travelling with an infant, please ensure that they are secured safely using the infant seatbelt provided. The toilets will now go out of use until the fastened seatbelt sign is turned on. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Not yet got that set up. The actual payment for the purchase of the app yet, so that will obviously be done and sorted in time. I honestly did not expect snow as we were coming in. I know it's quite high terrain beneath us, but yeah, I honestly didn't expect snow as we were coming down. I am still chasing that profile. No, I'm not chasing it, I'm just on it. And I don't want to miss it. We should be okay. Just going to give it 30 seconds or so speed brakes just to keep us underneath. It's that tailwind that's pushing us along.
Tivat traffic Alpine 85 Tango. Oscar Delta, expecting a possible Delta arrival.
And then I want to be 250 knots at pod and immediately start the descent down to 5,000 feet. If you're in the chat and this is your first time seeing the Tivat approach, then I think you're going to enjoy it. It's different to the norm. Pop those speed brakes away now. A little turbulent over the terrain, which is probably to be expected in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Look at that wing. The wings are bouncing up and down as we're coming in. A says some of the passengers are furious that they didn't get any chocolate bar to go with their coffee. Turmoil is breaking out in the cabin. Well, probably only in the diabetic section. That's Alt Star. I'm going to now start to begin winding that speed back to 50 knots. Whilst we're here, I'm going to activate the approach phase. So that's done. I'm going to get the landing lights on and get as far ahead of this procedure as we can.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, you may have noticed that we have just begun our final descent into our destination. If you could now assist the cabin crew by tidying up your tray table and handing them any litter as they come around, that would be most appreciated. For safety reasons, we ask now that you please turn off all electronic devices or switch them to airplane mode until after we have landed. Please note that the aircraft toilets are now out of use. If you wish to become a EasyJet Sim Pilot channel member, please contact a member of your cabin crew who will be happy to assist you. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed your flight.
Okay, as we pass over pod, we're going to get down to 5,000 feet. Indeed, HD, 10,000 feet was the transition altitude. Thank you. So now at 250 knots, we're now going to continue the descent down to 5,000 feet. Thrust idle, open descent, 5,000 blue. Tivat traffic, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Overhead, Papa Oscar Delta on the Pod 1 Delta arrival for runway 32, 10,000 feet. Speed 250 knots. Okay, let's start to keep an eye on how this approach goes. All the way through, down to 5,000 feet by Olivu. And again, just to make sure we're not chasing our tail, a little bit of speed brakes. Because I want to be green dot. Why is the... oh, that's okay. The primary flight display was stuttering a little bit there. Tango India Victor TIV is identified. I'm behind HD's mind with stuff like that at the moment. We're getting there. Get down to 5,000 feet, sorry. Get down to 5,000 feet. Go into speed mode. And roll back to green dot. Flaps 1 at Olivu. Flaps 2 before TV301. Flaps 3 at 2,600 feet. Before 2,600 feet, sorry. Right, I've put the lid on my cup of tea. That's gone. And what I shall do as well is I'm going to start a recording sequence so we can check this back afterwards, because it is a rather beautiful approach, this. Hard work, but beautiful. Speed brakes are still out. It's turbulent, isn't it? So we will check out how nice this looks, fingers crossed, after we've landed. Coming up on 5,000 feet, speed brakes going away, and into managed speed as we start to roll back to green dot. Alt star. Soon as we have passed Sorag, we're going down to 4,000 feet. Speed's bleeding off nicely. So we're where we wanted to be in the brief. I wanted to be a green dot, 5,000 feet at Olivu. We're 2 miles from Olivu. And I'm now going to go flaps 1, speed checked, flaps 1. And now let's get down to 4,000 feet. Open descent, 4,000 blue. Gonna arm the lock. And the airport is somewhere over there in that little valley. Okay, so let's pull the speed back 180 knots, and apparently we need to use heading mode for this. So We'll pull the heading 280. And we should start to intercept that in a moment. For a minute then I didn't think that was... I thought I'd click that and it didn't change. But anyway, there we are. Lock star. Paranoia check. Flaps 2. Speed checked. Flaps 2. We've got the extra drag down to 2,600 feet now. $2,600 blue. Tivat traffic Alpine 34 Alpha Mike established runway 32 localizer at 13 miles speed 180 knots.
Tivat traffic
Thrust out local descent.
Tango is 5 miles from the Tango India Victor, final to land.
Just pulled that after going to check the FMAs, realised it wasn't actually going down. And HD did as well at the same time. I can now just see him shouting at me. We should be okay. Use a little bit of speed brakes just to ensure we make that. There it is, 3 miles from Taz, coming up on 2,600 feet, speed All-Star, flaps 3 in a moment after we've selected manage speed.
2,500.
Flaps 3, speed checked, flaps 3. Flight directors off, landing gear down. .2. And I've just pulled that a tad early so that it starts its descent there on 0.3 miles. Why have we turned flight directors off? We don't do that until we're about to turn the autopilot off. Numpty. There's a brain fart moment.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Now that snow is actually making it really difficult to see where this runway is going to be. .5 miles we should be at 1,800 feet, so we're actually slightly low. Let me bring that back in. 4 miles should be 1,400. Does anybody have the runway in sight?
$100 above. 1,000. Minimum.
There it is. Continue.
Tivat traffic Alpine 85 Tango Tango.
Autopilot R5 control. Flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin is secured, auto thrust speed, going altitude 6,000 set. Ecam memo landing no blue. Do you know what? I've just popped autopilot, auto brake on, and I put it on medium.
500.
Not sure if the snow affects it, but even so.
400.
Has anybody cleared the snow off the pappies? I've not set the heading on the track either. 314.
300.
I need another pair of arms.
$200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Okay, we're down. Spoilers deployed. Reverse green and decel. Auto brake medium doing its job nicely. Let's disconnect that. 70 knots. Reverses off. Now, where on earth is the taxiway?
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket.
Clear the runway, then I'm
underneath
going to
the seat
tidy the aircraft
and
up.
in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your EasyJet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or EasyJet app.
Right, let's go and find somewhere to taxi, shall we? So, is it actually covered in snow at the moment? Oh, good luck, what happened to that EasyJet aircraft? How cold is it? Isn't it like, it's 13 degrees. 13 degrees and covered in snow. Is that accurate? Tell you what, taxiing's going to be a bit of a pain here, isn't it? I'm going to pass the EasyJet who seems to have been been tipped over. I've got the replay to watch as well, guys. Let me get in, then we'll watch the replay and see how it looked. I think VATSIM's velocity still has some issues. Mark says it's having a tyre changed. Right, so stand 5. And I have picked the stand with a marshaller for all the good it will do me. That will do. They need to clear the taxi lines, or like you say, give us a marshaller with much better with much better views. I can't believe that Tivat is actually covered in snow at the moment. Right, I'm going to disconnect from VATSIM and then we're going to have a little look at the replay, see what that looks like. So let me just disconnect from VATSIM. Thank you to everyone who flew with us on VATSIM today. Leave the engines running, of course. And we'll stop that, play that. And if we just fast forward this a little bit.
2,500.
Let's check what this arrival looks like. I just want to go a bit further till we're in the valley. There we go. So we'll sit on the left hand side for our first arrival. So HT, we turned a little bit early there. Go right up to the fence and then turn. Okay. Parking, do you know what? I hate parking stands like that. The self-manoeuvring ones, particularly when it's covered in snow. So the arrow is when you turn, not how you should face. Give me a follow me truck. Pascal said the EasyJet is having a leak. His dog does the same. Gav, you're off. Good night, Gav. Probably not see you in the morning. So, who knows when our next meeting shall be. Thank you very much for your support, Gav. HT says we should clear the weather and look at the ground markings. That's not a bad shout. Perhaps that's what we should have done. Particularly as it is Cav OK anyway on the real world meta, so not sure what's going on there. The turning cycle is a lot tighter than you think. Yeah, what is it? 24 meters I think you can turn around in, can't it? There's another one of your Friday night quiz questions. You really do get close to the terrain here, don't you? I was wondering, there was a moment just as we got to the minimums when I thought, can I actually see the runway? And then it just appeared, you could see the strip. I thought, yeah, there it is. Oh! I haven't done that. I didn't do that. This looks much better. All the snow's just instantly melted. Well, that would have that would have been a much nicer approach. I wouldn't have had any issue seeing the taxi lines or the runway on approach there, would I? Again, great scenery from Orbex at this airport. Lots of little handcrafted bits around the airport as well. We would have seen more actually if I'd have come in on runway 14, but that is a pain. Mark says it's a sudden thaw. That's that global warming, you know. It's a bugger. Right, Lewis, have a good day. Good luck at the match tonight. Enjoy it, my friend. Thank you for supporting. HD's minimums visual. Yeah, that's pretty much how it was. No, you've never. I was about to ask either now or later. I was going to say, yeah. How often have you done that? That touchdown didn't look too bad from the window. I do like that Microsoft's inbuilt replay system does actually have all the functions of the flaps and the spoilers and things. So now I've seen that. Let's pause that. Can I rewind this whilst paused? No, I have to go to stop the camera track recording. We can now rewind it a little bit, and we'll just have a little look out of the other window. If I can go over here, there we go. Or we can go to the front there. There we are. That's quite a nice view, isn't it? Oh, I'm loving the shadow of the aircraft down there as well. That's neat. The rollout onto final seemed to work quite nicely, so I'm pleased with that. Seems to be a lot more snow out of the right-hand wing than window than there does the left. As a passenger by now, I've been looking and thinking, where's the airport? Oh, there it is. We're getting very close and low to terrain, and I haven't seen a perimeter fence just yet. Yeah, do you know what? As arrivals into Tivat go, I'm quite happy with that. Let's stop that, rewind, and then I should be able to, if I get this right. Now, this is the fun bit. I've got to remember how we do this. So if I go to a new camera track recording, go outside, and disconnect this camera from the drone follow me mode. There we are. I should be able to have a decent view of our landing. Let me just speed up the camera speed a little bit. We did touch down after the touchdown zone slightly, so if we go around about round about here, we might be able to might just be able to see that. Let's just rewind a little bit. Can we now rewind? Oh, I think I have to stop again. And oh, what are you doing? That's a pain. Oh well, that didn't work. It is a little bit buggy, the replay system at the moment, but I can beat the aircraft to the beat the drone camera to the airport. Mark, better than your 312 FPM, but it was a contaminated runway, so you were yeah, well, absolutely, yeah, why not? There we go, we should be able to see now. Looks very neat. Oh yes. Lovely. Oh right, I really enjoyed that. Well guys, that's it for today's stream. Look at the blocks of ice floating in the sea. Wonderful. Thank you so much everybody for joining me on this morning's flight. Really enjoyed that. To those of you who have donated and contributed to the stream during the flight this morning, thank you so much for your continued support, and of course to EasyJet Pilot channel members, as always, thank you for your continued support of the channel. That's me done for today live stream wise, so thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Don't know when that will be. Obviously stay tuned, and if you are if you haven't done so yet, please do hit that subscribe button and make sure the notification bell is turned on so you don't miss future live streams and videos. I look forward to chatting with you on the Discord server. Thank you so much guys, it's been a pleasure as always. Have a great Wednesday everyone. Bye bye.